Welcome to the Freelance Tribe. Here we talk with skilled freelancers about their professional journey. Stay tuned for real-life experiences to learn and actionable steps to take to improve your freelancing career. My name is Yuri. I'm a community builder at Coach Control and 9am.works, and my guest is Grazia Ravelli, an ICF Associate Certified Coach, trainer, and facilitator who specializes in self-leadership and life design and helps you to build a sustainable lifestyle that enhances your well-being and long-term success. And today we'll discuss how to manage energy, stress, and motivation to reach the end of the year without drained batteries. So welcome, Grazia.
Hi, Yuri, and hi to all of the people listening to us. Thank you so much for having me.
Always happy to talk to you. So many conversations we have, always something valuable, always learns. I don't know how you do it, but I always learn at least one or few things that I can implement in my professional journey. So definitely I'm looking forward to learning from you right now. So let's start with this beginning. So we are heading to the end of the year. So it's currently November, December is really close. Why do you think the end of a year is particularly draining for most people?
So this is my personal view, and I suppose and know that you share it a bit. There is a bit of a myth around end of the year, right? The way our brain works is that it likes to have certainties. So dividing the time in nice slots, whether it is a day, an hour, a month, or a year, gives us a little bit of certainty. So we deal with this slotting or batching to save up energies. That would be the main reasons. But then what happens with that is that we find ourselves towards the end of the year, and since we are our harshest critics, we tend to fall into the trap of, have I done enough? I had a very long list at the beginning of the year and a lot of dreams and goals and nice objectives. Where am I at now? And then someone also invited these awful things that are the New Year's propositions. And exactly those that makes your head shake at the end of the year. At the beginning of the year, everyone is super pumped by those. And they may pop up again at the end of the year because it's that time of the year where we see a lot of other people showcasing what they have done throughout the year, especially on social media. We meet a lot of people who ask us, how are you going to spend the end of the year? And there is a bit of a social pressure in showcasing our best side. So it's a bit of the fallacies of how our brain works, methinks, a bit of social pressure, and a bit of that positive strive of wanting to achieve and do something meaningful with our life and with our work that gets a really big booster at the end of the year in an attempt to please ourselves. So some of the dynamics behind start up for a positive reason, but somehow they get messed up throughout the dynamic playing out. So I would say it's a combination of these factors as well as other factors that I may not have included, such as harder to set boundaries. Perhaps you have some family members coming over, so there's the family part to slot in it, the financial pressure. A lot of us freelancers work in countries where the financial year corresponds to the calendar year, and that puts extra pressure. Perhaps you also have an accountant that is kind of pushing for it too. And any other personal commitments or obligations that's coming up, people inviting you for Christmas to maybe planning a holiday, So it's a combination of everything that stacks up, and that makes you feel a little bit more drained at the end of the year.
I would also add that maybe two more things that add up. It's procrastination, because you always, put things on till the end of the day, till the end of the week, till the end of the year, and there are so many things that stuck up for the end of the year, and also this mass effect that everyone is kind of like trying to push, and you're like, oh my god, everyone's pushing, I have to push too. Let's do it, and then like, I feel like sometimes it happens that at the New Year or on Christmas itself, you're like, oh my god, I just want to lay down in the bed, not going anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's not only, it doesn't stay only at the thought level. Sometimes the body, who's always keeping the score, actually plays these dynamics out, and you fall sick. As soon as you stop working, your body sends you a signal, and the signal is loud and clear, and it was too much, so I'm shutting down. I have a lot of clients who experience this not only at the end of the year, but also leading up to the summer holidays, for example. And it's a matter of dosing the effort, dosing the energies, and to what you were saying, also dosing the commitments, the tasks that we are procrastinating on. So a good question to ask ourselves, and I'm putting it out there because my job is to ask a question, is how important or urgent is this to my personal or professional success? If it isn't that important or urgent, if you're still getting work despite this, maybe your procrastination is a clear message.
And I also understand that I had the same experience, last year. So we planned the holiday on the Christmas, and then we felt sick with my wife, and we just watched Netflix all the holidays, and like, yeah, it was nice, but like being sick, not that nice. And what common mistakes do freelancers make during this final weeks of the year that contribute to their burnout?
Well, linking back to what we were just saying, a mistake is not to listen to your body. This isn't just related to end of the year. However, your body is trying to communicate with you, mainly with emotions. When those don't come through, or even if they come through, it may send you some other signals, such as falling sick and needing to sleep in more. So one mistake would be not to listen to your body. Apart from this, I would frame the rest not as mistakes, but more so as a not fitting approach. And I'm saying this because each and every one of us is different. Our own boundaries, our own limits, our own tasks and commitments are different. So we don't want to fall into the trap of giving very generalistic advice. And this is when the coach part of me comes in, and with questions like, what do you need to look after that has become a little bit more painful at this time of the year? How are you working, functioning? Some of us go from holiday to holiday. They just push through, and then they just relax or fall sick during the holidays. Some of us become laser focused when under pressure, and that works for them. Fantastic. Some others, when the pressure is a little bit too much, both on professional and personal side, they lose this clarity. Their ability to read the situation and set priorities becomes a little bit blurred. So the first point or step could be, how am I functioning right now? And what type of results am I getting out of this modality? And the results would include, of course, work coming in or work progressing, as well as your energy levels, any other signals that may come through, pounding headaches, irritability. Perhaps you start stretching or having some itches, some cravings. Sugar craving is one of those. So try to understand what is your approach and try to understand what type of results you're getting out of it. And then you can start getting a little bit more granular. What parts of this approach are not fitting? Those could be labeled as mistakes and are going to be your unique ones. That doesn't mean that nobody else is going through the same. So reaching out to your network, to people that you trust, is also important so that you can share perspectives, share ideas, and a lot of time talking to other people or talking to yourself out in nature on a walk could give you that clarity that you need to understand what the mistakes are. Does it make sense?
I just wanted to ask you about the body signals, how to find them, but you already answered. So basically what I heard are the headaches, then if you start to scratch somehow, then sugar craving, this irritation, something that is not kind of common. And I feel like every person can feel that. So for example, if you're working all the time, all is good, you're okay with your family, with your kids, if you have kids, but then at some point, every word can startle you. And I believe that's exactly where there is a moment like, oh, maybe it's something to hear. Maybe I should check about it. And I think that many people just skip those signals because they think that, yeah, I have too much work. Maybe I'm just tired. I just need to sleep. But then it continue going, and they're not stopping. And I feel like that's exactly what leads to the burnout. So I'm curious, from your perspective, and you already answered a little bit on my next question, that you can go for a walk or that stuff. So what to do to, when you see those signals, how should you act? How should you act to avoid finishing up in burnout?
I'll start. Perhaps the best answer would be linking to what you just said. Those signals are not unique to this part of the year. We may be feeling irritated, we may be feeling frustrated, we may have some trouble falling asleep or sleeping properly throughout the year, but somehow they all fall onto a spectrum. It's like when you turn on a dimmable light. Maybe throughout the year, the light goes really, really intense, and then it just dials down. And it may be that at this stage of the year, it's like a stage, like all the lights on you, and you're blinded by these lights. You're really like stumbling and a little bit numb. Where to start from? It reconnects with that sort of assessment that you may want to do. When you start understanding the way you function or you're not functioning, then that gives you some avenues for you to look after. And I think all of us are super intelligent people, and we already know what we have to do, such as making sure that we eat proper food, making sure that we have enough rest, and that includes sleep, but also naps, or also lying on the couch while sending out some emails. It is a matter of prioritizing this, and this is probably the hardest bit, because similarly to those New Year's resolutions, we start off on a good note and for a good reason, and that is fantastic and needs celebration. However, then we always fall into the traps of implementation. And I give you an example. I have a post-it here, and I don't know if you can see it. It's written meditate.
Yes.
And I put it up to remind myself next to my laptop, I haven't meditated one single time. And that is what I need because I can feel that my level of reactivity to stressors are really high at the moment. So if this isn't working for me, then I shouldn't be beating myself up. I should be just acknowledging this isn't the right system for me. I need to think about something else. So just to sum it up, set your priorities depending on how much work pressure and other pressures you've got on. And a simple tool for doing that could be perhaps you can take half an hour of your time, if you have it, 20 minutes, and set up a last 30 days plan. Anytime that a new person starts in a company, for example, they usually plan out the first 30 days as a learning objective. You could do the same for you, the last 30 days though, and you can set the priorities in terms of the timeline, the deadline, as well as the urgency. Think back, what is it that makes you feel good? What is it that makes you feel like you are recharging yourself? And the answers are going to be completely different from all of us. You start from the basics like sleep, the nutrition, the relationships, super important, the managing the time. However, if something is not working, don't beat yourself up. Just change up the system.
How can freelancers allow themselves to rest? Why I'm asking? Because, many freelancers are in more hustle than, for example, like usual employees. Because when you go to the work, usually, like not always, but usually you have from 9 to 5. You know that I'm coming to the work at 9, I'm going back from work at 5, and everything else, I'm just resting. Freelancers do not, even though people say that freelancers can manage their time and do whatever they want, it's not always truth. So how can freelancers mentally allow themselves to take rest?
And you use the right word. It's allowing ourselves, right? And a question I very often ask to my clients is, what permission do you need in order to, and then you can fill in the gaps, in order to rest up? And it does go back to the expectations that we set for ourselves, as well as the values that we live and work on. I am a freelancer myself. I know that we put in a lot of work, we put in a lot of hours, a lot of effort, a lot, because we care. We care about doing a great job. We care about growing our business. We care about our lifestyles. We care about a lot of different things. And this is when our inner critics comes in, and it starts poking at us and shifting this care for the results, the work that you deliver, the deadline that you respect, the quality of your work, the lifestyle that you have. If you bring it back to who you are, caring about you as a person, caring about you as a professional as well, that is going to perhaps start taking care and nourishing of that part that is blocking the permission. Very generalistic. And I think that framing it as a multitude. Yes, it's usually one woman or one man band, a freelancer gig, and we're doing everything. We're delivering, we're the admin, everybody talks about this. How about we also think ourselves as our own managers? How would you treat an employee? Or if you do have employees, how do you treat them? Do you expect them to stay at work and writing Slack messages at 11 p.m.? And again, what permissions do you need to give yourself to start treating you, to start being a good boss of yourself?
Yeah, we always talk about freelancing as a business, but we never talk about ourselves like bosses for those businesses. And I hear a lot that, and it's true, definitely, that freelancers, except for work itself that they're doing, their professional part, they have to do finances, they have to do accounting, they have to do marketing, sales, and stuff. And it looks like you have many employees already, but all of those employees are you, and you also a boss for all of those employees. But it's interesting. Once again, Grazia, one more insight. I always find something, and I feel like when you shift this opportunity, when you shift your view on this, it's so much easier to allow. But once again, we can care about our employees, about other people, but ourselves, yeah, whatever. We kind of allow ourselves not care about ourselves.
Yeah, and this doesn't stop to the professional side. It spills over into a personal life, and you can even take it to the next step that suits you. Again, an approach that fits you. If you think about yourself as a manager or as a boss, you could even write a well-being policy that suits you and print it out, have it there, knowing that that is the policy of your business. It actually helps you, like everything else starts with in the brain. It helps you build in the vision of the type of endeavor that you want to build. It's like one of those motivational speakers that said, I wrote myself a 1 million or 10 million check and kept it with me. You could do the same with a well-being policy or a well-being check-in at the end of the week. Calendarize it, or you could even ask a friend or a partner or one of your kids to hold you accountable on that. So think about which type of processes you could build around your well-being to try and safeguard it so that it doesn't become a New Year resolution.
What is one super easy and small steps freelancers can take to incorporate self-care into their routines?
Identify a habit, something that already happens in your routine, ideally daily. It could be I take a coffee every morning. It could be I brush my teeth at lunchtime every day. And decide whether you want or what you can latch onto this that would make your batteries go. It could be before brushing my teeth, I'll just spend 5 minutes meditating. Or during my coffee, I'll just walk around the block so that I get a little bit of distance from the screen. There would be a practical way to insert it. What you can insert, there's an infinite number of options. It could be lifting a weight so that you build some muscular mass. It could be shutting off the screen 10 minutes earlier. It could be blocking the social media. We just you name it.
Yeah. And also what I hear is very important. First of all, connect it with something that you're already doing. And the second one is to do it extra small. So do not plan that before I'm brushing my teeth, I will do 1 hour exercise. Nah, it won't work. So start with some super, super small step.
Yeah. And on that, call out your bullshit. Call out the excuses that you're making up. I'll give you a small example. I had a client who wanted to get back into exercise, and he had started exercising during COVID because he was super bored. And now that the world is open up again, yay, he's completely ditched it because, the world is full of other interesting things to do. So we started to get going with it. And in one session, he came in and said, you know what? In my mind, I cannot exercise if I am not wearing gym clothing. And I was like, yeah, that's a great excuse. Fantastic. And he was like, what? So in his mind, he had set up the system, but the system was failing him. So let's acknowledge when the system isn't working and when we're turning this into an excuse. Oh, I have to be in this state of mind, or I have to be in this country or climate to make it happen.
Yeah, it never works that way. Yeah, never.
Yeah, it's a little bit of self-irony and the ability to take ourselves a little bit on the light side always helps.
I feel like it's also a great thing to, exactly as you mentioned, to ask every time that you are not doing what you're doing, ask like, okay, so what is the excuse this time? Okay.
You could, if we all did this, we could write a book or a Wikipedia or Wikiquote page for it.
It's a great idea. Maybe we should start, just freelancers' excuses of not taking care of themselves. And then just publish it, and it will be like #1 New York bestseller.
Do you recognize any? Tick it off.
Exactly. Grazia, I wish to have the sky is the limit, but time is the limit. So the final question, what is your favorite food?
Really? I have a massive sweet tooth. So it would have to be a dessert. And I've got a really sweet spot for anything that is prepared with almonds, like almond paste and almond meal and almond croissants. So I guess that my favorite food would be almonds, especially with butter.
And what is the best way to connect with you?
Best way to connect with me is LinkedIn. You'll find me as Grazia Ravelli. Email graziacoach@gmail.com. I'm also on Instagram, grazia.coach, though not very active. I'm really open for suggestions on how to fall in love with it without getting addicted to it. And then that will be it.
Got it, Grazia. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. And it's always a pleasure to hear and learn from you.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for all the great questions. They really stretch my thinking.
And thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, hit the like button, 5 stars, and share it with your friend. That's it. We're done. See you in the next episode.